Hey guys, you're watching The Hungry Handgunner. I'm Nick, and I got something new. It's a first for me, it's a first for the channel, and it's something that I have wanted for a long time. This particular gun is one that I've wanted for a while. So, we're going to talk about the HK P30s today. So for a few years now, since I've been doing the channel, I've got some nice guns. There's no denying that. My M9A3 with the Langdon slide, my CZs, things like that. I've got some decent guns. I've got some guns that are nice. I've got some guns that are budget-minded. One thing has remained the same. I didn't have HK, and I was never, ever allowed to forget it from certain folks. So now I do. Now this is the HK P30s. This one does have a safety on it, but as you'll notice there on the back, it has what I love about pistols, namely a hammer and a decocker that allows you to safely decock the gun so that when you draw it, your first shot is double action. So you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm an Appendix guy, but that's where I was going with this. I like to carry my gun's Appendix. One of the major concerns of Appendix is not so much that the gun's pointed at your body, because no matter where you carry, well, the gun's pointed at your body. Typically, your butt cheek, your hip, your leg, at some point during the day, the gun is pointed at some part of your anatomy. The stakes get a little bit higher with Appendix carry because the things down there are not things that we really want to be putting extra holes in, and least of which is the reproductive bits, but you also have femoral arteries, things like that are a little bit necessary to keeping blood going where it needs to go so that you stay alive. So that's my biology lesson. Classes next week too on that. My big holdup with Appendix carrying striker guns is that normally there's no way to know what's going on with the trigger, right? There's no feedback. So when you go to holster that gun, you know, obviously look the gun into the holster, but things can happen, right? The entire premise for carrying a gun is Murphy's Law. Things can happen that we need to be prepared to defend ourselves against. Well, what happens when the tool that you trust to do that becomes a threat to you, right? So when you're reholstering your striker fire gun, and I know there's going to be striker guys that carry Appendix that get mad about this. It is what it is. Do you? I'm just saying, for me, I didn't have a whole lot of peace of mind with that. Now I was doing Appendix carrying the M18 because the M18 had a manual safety. I don't like relying on safeties, but it's better than nothing in that situation. The gold standard for me for Appendix carry is a double action, single action. I put my thumb on the hammer when I put that gun down. If there's anything going on with that trigger, any kind of resistance, and the gun is clear, I should probably show you guys that before the safety Nazis come out in force. But if say I'm holstering this gun, and we'll just do it this way, and I've got figure out the best way to do it. I've got my thumb here, and something snags that trigger, I will feel that hammer moving. Now the gun cannot go off until the hammer comes down, hits the firing pin hits the primer. So by blocking that hammer's movement with my thumb, number one, I'm preventing an inadvertent discharge, negligent discharge, accidental discharge, whatever you want to call it. But I'm also clued that, hey, something's not right. Something's snagging that trigger. And it gives me a second chance to try to reholster without my only warning sign being a bang. So I say all that to say this. My boss and my friend has a VP9, loves his VP9. I've shot the VP9, it's great. My big holdup is I like my sidearm to be something that I can conceal carry, right? So that's his gun, right? That's his, that's his go-to-war gun, that's his carry gun, that's all that, well, he sometimes carries a 43X, but whatever. For me, though, I want those guns to be interchangeable. Wanted to try H&K, I knew I wouldn't carry a VP9 in my Appendix region. Wanted a P30. Now, I did also want a P30 that had a safety. Don't ask me why, because I don't really use safeties. This one doesn't get turned on easy, so I'm not really worried about it. But I like the look of it. It is what it is. I'm still vetting this to see if this will be my carry gun. But it has the decocker, and that's important to me. Now, I know one of my regular viewers is going to say, well, Nick, your M9A3. Well, my M9A3 is freaking heavy, and it's kind of larger than it needs to be. Whatever. I wanted an HK. I got one. P30. This should be fun. So let's go over some of the specs on this. We're going to go ahead and start with the fact that it is a polymer frame, steel slide, double action, single action 9mm. It does share mag commonality with the VP9. The P30 SKs can use these mags. Obviously this will not use the SK mag, which is a subcompact. Mine came with two flush fitting 17 round mags. Very cool there. One of the neatest things about the P30 and the VP9 series is that you can not only change your back strap, which is fairly common with guns now, You not only change your back strap, but you can change out your side pieces, your side straps, or whatever you want to call them, side panels here, to make that gun truly fit you. And it doesn't have to be a symmetrical design. So if you want to have more of a palm swell on your right hand or more on your left hand, you can do that with this configuration. Now, I haven't played with that feature too much because you guys are seeing the first rounds through this gun for me today, which is kind of rare. But I did manage to wait between yesterday and today when I could film to get some rounds through it. So the way I have it configured is the medium back strap and the large palm swells. Just what I went with. That's what felt good in the hand. That's what we're trying out today. So far, so good. So by my calculation, which is Georgia math, so it could be a little bit off, you have like 27 different combinations of palm swells and back straps and whatnot. I think that's cool. I think, you know, a lot of people can just pick up a gun and shoot it regardless off the shelf, and to an extent I'm that way. I can get acceptable hits and things like that, but there's no denying that if you can make that gun fit you, if you're not into reviewing guns, you don't really care about having a lot of guns, if you can have one gun that you can make just really tailor it to you, I think that's a pretty cool feature, right? So we're going to be playing with it. As far as the aesthetics on the gun, I like it, and I'm a little bit ashamed of that because I have been bullied by HK guys for so long. Like, I want to be like, yeah, this thing's a piece of shit, I hate it, but I can't so far. Just the way it feels in my hand, and playing with several different HKs over the last couple years, I knew I liked the guns, at least based off those little bit. So obviously this thing's going to get a lot of rounds through it as I'm able to really test and vet it and see what these guys are talking about. Also, if you're a regular viewer, you'll notice that I am running iron sights. Well, not by choice. To my knowledge, HK doesn't have an optics ready variant of the P30 available here in the US. So VP9s all day. They got the tactical versions, the optics ready, whatever. P30, not so much. So because of what all goes on in here with the way this gun is and roll pins and things like that, there's only a few shops that will do milling. I have a gunsmith near me that's done a few. I will probably use him. Shout out to Moss Firearms if you're local, to the Jasper areas where he's located, Jasper, Georgia. Moss is a cool dude, so he's swamped already, so he's probably going to cuss me for throwing this out in the video, but very good gunsmith, very skilled. He can do these. I may have him do it and then cut me a new dovetail or whatever he needs to do to make sure I have backup irons and an optic. But for the time being, I find that the 3-dot sights are serviceable. They're photoluminescent, so we're going to do a close-up and stuff on the gun when we go over that. They're not tritium, but if you hit them with a flashlight, they glow pretty bright. Little party trick that the kids love. So let's do that. Let's give it a close-up and we'll go over some specs. So here we are. We'll go over some specs real quick. They have a 9 and 40, so obviously we'll be talking about the 9 today, and weights and measurements are not including the Streamlight TLR1HL that I have on there because, well, I have a holster for it, but it needs the light, so yes, and I like lights on guns. So we're looking at a 7.12 inch overall length, 5.43 overall height, overall width with lever 1.37 inches. So you can see the safety lever adds a little bit there. And the sight radius is 5.84 inches. Weight is listed as 26.08 ounces with a magazine weight of 0.2 pounds. So there is that. I haven't put it on a scale yet. I'm just going by what HK says about it. Obviously that's not including ammo. Looks to be about a 10-pound double action trigger. Not terrible. It's smooth. It's a smooth travel. I didn't notice any stacking going on. And about a 5-pound single action trigger. Again, serviceable for a duty service self-defense handgun. I find that acceptable. Most common mag capacity you'll find is going to be 15 rounds. This one holds 17. Yay, I'm special. And obviously it has dovetailed front and rear sights. But let's talk about these sights. So they look whitish, yellowish right now. They go to a white over time. But if you shine a light on them or they're exposed to sunlight, they tend to glow. They're definitely popping pretty good out here on my range. Very ergonomic. You can see the finger grooves on the front. It does have a European paddle style mag release there on the trigger guard. Some people love it, some people hate it. There's your safety selector, so it will work in double action. You can see trigger it just won't go. There's that double action, and then here's that single action. There's your take up. It does have a long reset. It resets like out here, I've noticed. Your decocker is actually in a really cool place right there. So very awesome there. You guys can see it's got some beveling there at the front of the slide along with forward slide serrations for ease of holstering. I'm gonna say I like the angle there that it's got underneath the barrel. Generous slide release. on both sides. It is ambi safety as well. You have a loaded chamber indicator. This pops out a little bit. I wouldn't depend on it. Do your press checks, guys, just be careful. Obviously it has an accessory rail for mounting lights. Very generous one too. There's like 4 slots on there. And there's your 17 round mag. So to change your back straps and things like that, you're just going to punch that roll pin out. Fairly easy to do. I use a loaded magazine whacked on the punch to knock that out. So I don't know if that's what the manual says. That's what I did though. So just being honest with you guys. But yeah, pretty cool. Let's shoot it some more. All right, so I'm just going to see what my accuracy looks like. Approximately 10 yards from that paper target over there. It's a bit windy, so if I pause, it's not that I forgot what I'm doing, it's just I'm waiting for the target to quit moving. So let's see what we get. We're just going to use a whole mag here. We'll do the first shot double action, see what we get. Alright, we'll go take a look at that. I did forget to mention that there are 4 holes in the bottom of the paper that were there playing around with the 300 blackout earlier. You guys will probably enjoy that video a good bit. Let's go take a look at the target, see what that looks like. That looks like I'm coming in a bit high and left right through here. Those are those marks from earlier, messing around with the 300 blackout. So yeah, not great. I'm going to fire another mag. Keep that in your mind there. We're going to use the same target. And I'm going to see kind of what that looks like. All right, we're going to fire another 17 rounds at the paper, see what it looks like, see if it's still holding in the same spot. First one double action like the good Lord intended. Fired a little bit faster that time because the wind was being a little bit more agreeable. Let's take a look at that one. So there we are. This one down here, that was me. Can't blame that on the gun. I pulled that one, and yeah, that does suck when that happens. But for the first day out with the gun, 10 yards, target moving a little bit, I'll take it. Got me a break, guys, but pretty good. I like it. I like it. Now we're going to do some time shooting at this closest steel silhouette about 15 yards away. We're going to give it a go and see what we get. .151. .163. .146. Double action on this pistol is nice. .137. .153. We're going to do 5 controlled pair drills. I should have enough ammo for that. .188. .147 first shot. 192, 151 first shot. 0.41 split on both of those. .191, 149 first shot. 0.42 split on that. 2 more reps. .186, 149 first shot. 0.37 split. .204, 166 first shot. Took me a little longer getting it out. Man, it's smooth. It's smooth. And I think I have part of an idea why. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to show you the guide rod assembly on this gun. It's different. It's definitely different. But I do like the paddle mag release. That's nice. We get out here and probably film some reload drills later. Rain's going to be coming in today. But these are the first rounds through the gun, and I'm liking the thing so far. So we're going to go ahead and take the gun down. Just walk you guys through this. Go ahead, verify that it's unloaded. Doesn't matter. You don't have to decock it, pull the trigger, anything. Now, if you watch, right here, you'll see this notch here. So we're going to bring the slide back, and you kind of got to figure out what's going to work best for you. And you're going to push on the other side of this slide release. You're pushing on this little center piece there. So we're going to come over here. We're going to push it out as far as we can, and then hold the slide there. Pull with your other fingers till you hear that click. You can see that red right there. Go ahead and let the slide forward. No trigger pull necessary again. Pull it off of there. You see the little buffer on the recoil spring. I think that's part of why it just is so soft. So that's the basics. Take the recoil spring out, take the barrel out, put it back. Pretty easy. That's really all there is to it. To get it from there, you're gonna go ahead and line it back up on the rails. Slide it back. Play slide Jenga, line your notches up, push that back through, and you're done. That's simple. Crazy simple. I wasn't sure at first. I was like reading where you had to push this. I was like, great, it's gonna be like the CZs. Very easy to take this gun down. So, what do I think so far? I like it. Time will tell. We'll see how its reliability is. Obviously, you guys are watching the first rounds today. No malfunctions, and I'm not using any particularly high-end ammo. This is reloads. They are loaded similar to federal HSCs in terms of velocity. Point of aim, point of impact with my red dots is similar. Obviously this one doesn't have a red dot, but that's just kind of my go-to target load. 124 grain bullet, all that good stuff. Winchester 231 powder, and then whatever primers I can find right now is the sad part. I use a lot of berries plated 124, so there is that. That is the other thing. This is polygonal rifling. Some debate exists, and I'm not sure what side I'm on. I don't feel like I understand it well enough. Shouldn't use just cast lead bullets with polygonal rifling like this gun has, or Glocks. Again, that's the debate. I don't know. I'm not going to, because again, I don't understand it well enough to really have an opinion on it. So I'm going to take the safe route and keep using plated bullets, which is my preference anyway. So there is that, guys. If you have experience with the HK P30, drop it in the comments. As always, let folks hear from more than just you. To all my patrons and channel members, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are what keeps my reloading press running, and memory cards and storage and stuff to make the videos. So I appreciate you more than words can express. There's always links down in the description if you want to become a patron or channel member. Channel member gets early access to videos before they go public. Patrons get patron-only posts and content like that. So guys, thank you so much for all you do. Stay safe, keep shooting, and I'll see you next time.